Malgré que ce soit la journée de la francophonie, cette session va se dérouler en anglais, mais l'interprétation est disponible, donc je crois qu'il y a encore quelques écouteurs. Pour ceux qui veulent écouter en français, on va passer en anglais. So, welcome to this session, everybody. This is the TLF and CLECAT session on Towards Innovation in the Air Freight Business. My name is Aidan Flanagan. I'm the Policy Manager at CLECAT, the European Freight Forwarding and Logistics Association. And with TLF, the French Freight Forwarding and Logistics Association, today we are going to be discussing many topics which are at the forefront of our agendas in the air freight business, how to innovate in the way we do air freight in terms of processes, digitalisation, cooperation, collaboration, how we innovate in assuring the security of air freight, which is more than ever at the forefront of our concerns, and how in doing both these processes we can smooth up and speed up the flow of freight in the air supply chain. So today we have a varied and very expert panel of speakers. What we're going to do is ask everybody to first give a small introduction to themselves, what they would like to present. We have some presentations, and otherwise we hope to have a good full discussion. So joining us today we have Hasse Römer, who is the lead for engagement of new industries and logistics at Ericsson. We have Marc, Genestie, area security manager at Panalpina, France. Alexandre, Cienki, sales engineer at HTDS. Matthieu, Masson, CEO of Diagnose. Salfati, e-freight project manager at Air France Cargo. Jean-François, managing director of Cargo Information Network France. And Balva, CEO of Blockchain Partner. So without further ado, I think I'll pass over to Hasse. If you would like to give us your introductory remarks, I think you have a small presentation prepared for us. Afterwards we can talk. I think.
Is it all? Great to be here. Thank you very much for that introduction. Let me just walk through a very, very brief introductory. So, my name is Hasse Römer, pronounced in Swedish, and I've been working with what we like to call the Internet of Logistics. So this is a IoT initiative within Ericsson. And what is Ericsson then doing in this kind of forum or even this kind of conference? Well, until a year ago, this was my life. So for 20 years I've been working in the Ericsson supply, basically moving stuff from our 3 production sites in Mexico, in Estonia and in China, and moving all those to all these countries, 170 plus countries that we're serving worldwide with goods. And it amounts to around some 100k ton per year, but then of course there's about twice as much, which is then also on domestic transport, just going for the local site, equipment, etc. Dealing with 1,400 warehouses worldwide that we have equipment in, so quite big stuff. And during those times, it always wondered me that internally we had quite good visibility, but as soon as we left we left our factory, we left our warehouses, then we lost entire visibility, and it was just a black hole until it re-emerged at the site somehow. And being true engineers, we started looking into this, and we had made one shipment from Düsseldorf, from Gothenburg to Düsseldorf, and it took some 10 days, and that was by air. It would actually be faster to bicycle down to the box. And this has started to interest me, and also coming from the telecom. When I arrived here this morning at Charles de Gaulle, I just switched on my phone and then I'm good to go, right? I can make phone calls, I can receive phone calls and so on. And we started to see, why don't we take some of the telecom concept and move them into the logistics world? And of course, I'm talking about the SIM card, the unique identifier, or you, as one thing. And this is one of those basic things we need in the Internet of Logistics. We need unique identifiers. The second one, we need to agree on the language we are speaking, so we talk the same semantics. And then of course the third one is we need rules around security and all these kind of things who's allowed to do this. So very simply we propose to solve it like this. To create an internet of logistics where each and every logistics object, it can be a box, a vessel, a aircraft, a terminal, a container, doesn't matter. And each and every one of them should have a unique identifier, and that should be referenced by this URI. So if you want to know anything about this object, you just go to that URL and you can pick up the information you want. Very easy, very simple. Second, also, we're moving into a publish and subscribe. Right now we are doing it, in the old days in telecom, you were basically connecting cables, right? You dial the operator and then we connect cables. That's how we do it in logistics. We propose to do this with a publish and subscribe. You publish your data that you want to share and collaborate on this URL, and then everybody can just subscribe to it and pick up the data they want. So we believe that this is the way forward, and are working with a number of companies to try to bring this to the industry and say, yes, it works. Overall, Ericsson is working on the connected change, which you saw just with using the Internet of Logistics, and then of course also we're talking about connecting the freight, which is the box itself, and connecting the locations. Anything from, plus minus 20 meters down to plus minus a couple of centimeters. How can we bridge that connectivity gap? But we are not working alone. We are working with a number of associations on this and giving our, learnings and also get their feedbacks. And especially then IATA in their one shipment record have picked up this initiative, and also now saying, well, Internet of Logistics could actually be the next technology that could break this side of thinking in the logistics. So I think with that was my short introduction of what I would like to talk to you about today.
Great, thank you, Hasse. I'll save the questions for afterwards, I think, when we can feed that into discussion. So without further ado, I'll pass on to Marc Genestie from Panalpina to give the perspective of the freight forwarder.
Bonjour everybody. The idea of this short presentation is to show to everybody customers that, when I say customers, the industry, like Ericsson, for example, are the final consignee for everybody here in this room, which buys some products in the supermarket or in the store. We just would like to insist on the innovation aspect in our activity, the transport and the logistics. Very shortly, and this is something common to all the forwarding industry and logistic industry, we have a vision, a mission, and some values. And in this layout, you can see here, innovation is especially one of the issues we have to face on a daily basis. Very shortly, and especially for air freight, that's the idea today, is to show that for air freight, transporting from a point A to a point B to the final consignee, meaning business to consign customer, we will have to show some specific activity, and especially in terms of security. For a lot of final customers, they don't have any clue about what we have to do every day in the transport and logistics supply chain. So here you can see that for my company, for Panalpina, in air freight, we have 4,500 tons per year. But if I'm looking especially in terms of security and how it works in our company in France, we have some station in France, and we are using the Luxembourg airport as well. And we decided to have Roissy airport as a gateway. Here you can see that we did secure last year more or less 20,000 tons of cargo. Okay, meaning that we had to do some security on these products. Here, basically, we are using the basic things. When you are coming to the airport, it's a very special place. You cannot enter like this. You have accreditation on place. You have some equipment. You work in a secure environment. Of course, I'm talking from air freight, but this is exactly the same with sea freight and in some issues of cases with the road transport. Here, very especially, we are a regulated agent. It means that we are one step between the industry and the airlines. For example, my colleagues here from Air France. And we have to release the cargo secured. It means that this is due to our European regulation and more globally after that with the IATA environment. And we know that security is a major issue today in our life, but especially in transport as well. We are using some screening methods. The screening methods are X-ray machine, free running, darts, and remote explosive scent. We can have as well physical check and visual check. More on this part very shortly, and then I will share it with my colleagues here. For the top part, the silo technique part, Diagnose, and with the X-ray machine, HTDS for scan. So, like other competitors or forwarders, we have an X-ray machine. Today, this is a simple view, meaning that we still do not have the double view machine. This is certainly something my colleague Alexandre will talk about. This is certainly something we will see in the very near future, meaning 1 year, maybe 2 years maximum. Here, you can see that the reason is the packaging, the inner content, of course, but we have here a ratio around 10 to 20%, which is very, very decreasing today. In the past, this ratio was much, much higher. This ratio is something I took in statistics. We have then the free-running explosive detection dogs, what we call the FRD. We have on a regular basis, 2 or 3 times a day, this securitization in the warehouse. The advantage, like for the X-ray machine, it's controlled by the French civil aviation. They are accredited, they are trained on a regular basis, and here you can see that the ratio is around 20 to 30%. And at least you have the remote explosive scent, which is more or less the same ID. It's depending from the volumes, but here the advantage, of course, is that you can work on an optimization of a full truck or a container. And the securitization ratio is around 50%. We are making this on a daily basis, and you, as a final customer, you don't see that. You don't get any ID about all this integration of security in the transport and logistic process. It could be, today I'm talking as a forwarder, regulated agent, but of course it could have been the case as a customer, as a non-consigner. It's the same, it's an option. Today it's not here, we don't have a speaker for that, but you can work on this type of solution. Thank you very much for your time, and I will give now the next step to call.
So yeah, next, Alexandre, would you like to...
everybody. So I am Alexandre from HTDS. I'm representing a French distributor on safety products, mainly, mostly from American products. And we are... doesn't work.
Because it's I don't guess it just
this is it. Try. Okay. Maybe it will come a little bit later. So basically I would like to present you 4 ranges of products. One of the most